Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome. My name is Jordie James, and I've got you for the next 15 minutes. What was really interesting, as you all know, if you have followed me for such a long time, and thank you again for my new likes on my Facebook page and following me as well. That's awesome. Still working on my website to get it up and running. It will get there. So what was really interesting today, as you know, I always sort of ask Spirit or Universe what I'm going to bring through. And what was really interesting for me today was I actually grabbed a deck of cards, which I normally do. But today was quite interesting because, one, I always tell my students to pull a card a day just to connect intuitively on maybe what's going to come up today, what's the important part of today for them, all these sort of things. And I was like, well, I need to talk about that. So today I did pull some cards for what I was going to talk about, and it's really interesting how they've come up. One was slow and steady, and the other one was metamorphosis. And it's quite interesting because when we talk about metamorphosis, we talk about transition, we talk about the change, we talk about stepping out of the old self into the new self. And if you think about it, it can be quite challenging to change or quite challenging to transmit or transform. And it was very interesting when Slow and Steady also came out with it, because we sometimes skip over the good stuff when we are going through a transition, and we also sometimes miss the shadow work or working on ourselves. And I thought, well, this is really interesting how these two cards have come up, because in what's going on universally, what's going on energetically, what's going on in your home or around your house or around your suburb, around your country, things do take time to change. And we are going into a new normal now, which is quite an interesting feat. I'm not going to talk too much about that, but for ourselves in this transformation of universe, transformation of earth, things like that, humanity, all those sort of things, it can be quite slow. It can be quite daunting. It can be like breaking bones, which is what the butterfly does. It breaks itself to transform into a newer self, but we still have to go into the dark to transform into the new. So if we speed up the process, we do skip lessons, we skip information, we skip different things that we don't actually quite what we need to. And that's the thing. We need to look at those aspects of ourselves so we can change, so we can transform into a newer version of ourselves. We're not changing who we are, but we are changing our thoughts, we're changing our mindset, we're doing all these different things. And so slow and steady, if we do it in a consistent pace and consistency, we then get to our outcome, which is what we may view differently, our advice, our knowledge. And that makes sense as well, because with knowledge, sometimes when we're learning things, it can be a hard slog. It can be like walking through mud, getting stuck when we're learning things. But if we do it slowly and we don't get so ahead of ourselves and we don't be so hard on ourselves, we actually get the learning quite quickly. So what I just want to leave today is, if you are going through a transformation, or if you are going through some interesting going from old to new, or just looking at different outlook, don't be so hard on yourself, because the better the things are, the slow and steady you take, not the better outcome, but just knowing that you love yourself and being true to yourself is important, and do it slow and steady because you're worth it. So I hope that makes sense. And so I'll leave that with you. And I've got Cora from Calais in Maine. Hi, Cora. How are you going?
Good. How are you?
Good, darling. Now, I work psychically with what's going on around you, and mediumshiply, which is connecting with loved ones. How would you like me to work today for you?
I was curious to know if I'm going to have any children in the future. I don't know if you do that kind of
Okay.
reading.
Yeah, I can definitely look into stuff going on around you for sure. So, Cora, let me just have a look. Oh my God, you are absolutely gorgeous. So,
Thank you.
as I blend with you, darling, I know that, I was just talking about transforming and transformation and going through different things. So, I definitely understand over the last year, maybe two, and I know with the universal hibernation going on, I won't say the C word, but I know that over the last, say, 12 months to 2 years, there's been a lot of change in your life. Would that make sense to you? And what I mean by
Yeah,
this is that you have really have to sort of step back from people, step back from things, and reassess where you want to go next without being pulled into other people's issues. Would that make sense to you, darling?
yes, you're spot on there.
Thank you.
I have lost 130 pounds, and I had a
Uh,
miscarriage in January. I mean, I've done a
you
lot of
just
transforming
You just can't
in the
make
past year.
seriously. Yeah, if I don't know if you heard what I was talking about before, but you just can't make this stuff up. I love universe. I love how it works. So you're transforming your metamorphosis basically into the Cora that you've always wanted to be. It does have side effects because you've got to go through the psychological things of shifting and changing, but you've also done it in a way of being very true to yourself and slow and steady, which is so interesting. These two cards come up. Makes perfect sense for you, my love. So as I look at you, oh my God, okay. So if I said to you the last 3 months have been like gun ho, like, okay, this is where I want to be, this is what I want to do. Let's really take the bull by the horns and just go with things. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I used to be a drug addict as well, and I'm not anymore. I have a young daughter that's 9, and I'm trying to be a good role model and forget about that part of my life and just transform into a whole new person because I'm
Yeah.
really tired of that lifestyle and the people that I had
Yeah.
in my life. They were just taking advantage, and
Oh, wow. This is awesome. Okay. So I want to say, yes, there will be more children, darling. There will be definitely probably another one. I won't say it's just yet, but I definitely want to say don't be surprised if you're looking at this towards the end of the year. But what's really important is how you're going about this transformation. It's really, I don't know if you're doing steps or you're doing different things, but you're actually working from the inside out rather than from the outside in. And it's just really important for you to know that I would be surprised that since this shift, and I know it's been a couple of months, I want to say there's another big shift that's just happened, that work is going to start coming in, or there's going to be what we call liquid luck. And what I mean by this is energetically, things fall into place that you haven't really expected, but they're starting to really sort of manifest for you. Does that make sense to you?
yeah, yes, it does.
Thank you. Yeah, awesome. Because it's just like I want to go, you are back to your true sort of ornate spirit. And it's really interesting because I'm loving this, like tapping into your energy because for you to go
I
through
am
what you've
I
been
am who I
through,
want to be right now.
yeah.
I feel
And
good in my own skin. I feel great. I feel this is who I want to be.
yeah, and I,
Um,
I really feel that what you've been through is also going to help other people. So I don't know if you're interested in canceling or the healing aspect of things or just looking at it in a universal sort of metaphysical way. But for you, darling, you're going to help a lot of people. I do feel like I know there's a book in you somewhere. Everyone's got a book in themselves, but there's an aspect here, Cora, that I know that if you're starting or if you only just started to work or go back into the workforce, there's an aspect here of the shift of going, actually, I don't really like what I'm doing right now. I need to shift my work. So even things that are irritating or you're noticing energetic shifts that you just go, hang on, I used to be able to deal with this and now I can't. So does this all make sense to you, darling?
it does, yes, yes.
Thank
But
you.
the things that I can't handle, I just put aside and go back. I mean, I put my mind to something. I wanted a car, and it took me 3 days. I just put my mind to it, and I had a car. I
Yeah.
started with $0, and I figured out a
Yeah.
way to get my daughter and I a safe way to get around.
Yep. And this
I'm
is and
pretty
this is
pretty
where
strong-minded.
yeah, and it's also just the fact that you've aligned yourself so clearly now that I want to say you're going to have the Midas touch from now on, Cora. You're going to be able to do things that you've never thought possible in your life, but to change and just grow. And I know, thank you, there will be more children, and there's also going to be a nice relationship. I don't know if you've actually met them right now, but I do know that there's someone that's come into your life that's quite comforting and gentle, and it's just this beautiful thing that I just feel like we're going, yes. So I'll leave that with you.
That's what I've
But
been waiting for.
thank you.
I've been in a kind of an abusive relationship for 12 years now. I feel like
Yeah.
I've wasted those years, and I really would love to meet somebody that could actually treat me like I'm human.
Yeah, and I feel like because what you're doing now is bringing in the energy in the right way, they'll start finding you soon. So I just want to say you'll definitely have that partnership. So Cora, I'm running out of time, but may I leave that with you? And I just want to keep going, girlfriend, keep giving yourself those gold stars because you've
Thank
really
you. Thank you so
shifted
much for doing
this
this.
whole
It means a
change.
lot.
You're welcome, hon. Have a lovely day or evening, I should say. Have a lovely day, guys. Blessings and hugs. I'm getting the wrap up. I will see you all next week. Bye for now.